What's up, HyperFast Nation? On this episode of the show, we have an agent who, in just 4 years, has built up a business that did 50 deals, I believe, maybe a little bit more in 2021. I mean, that's huge numbers. Welcome to the show, Jeanne Scott. Welcome to the show today, Jeanne. How are you doing?
Good, thanks.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. I know, we were talking before the show. You were in sales before you got into real estate.
Correct.
But now, just in 4 years, you're up to 50 deals, I believe, is what you did in 2021.
Yes.
What's your goal for this year, for 2022?
My goal is to get a partner agent and try to get to close to 100. Trying to double.
So double up, hit 100. Another successful, hopefully, transition to this mini team concept that we've built out at the Keri Shull Team now for, I think, about a dozen people have kind of gone through the program. Where if you're, listening and or never listened before, or you missed the episode we did recently with Rachel or with Rob, where we kind of went into how this mini team model works. An agent like Jeanne, who focuses mostly on listing, once they get up to like 40, 50 deals on the list side, can get a partner agent. On the buy side, it's less. I think we incorporate the partner agents around 30 deals because, there's in any transaction, I think, average buyer transaction, there's probably like 40 hours of work. From some of the studies I've seen, the listing side's less than that. So your capacity is more, which is why you're able to do 50, but certainly getting to 100 would be amazing. How would the partner agent help you get from 50 to 100?
I think it's just really nurturing the relationships, the meetings that we've had in the past, making sure there's a lot more follow-up. Obviously, with the amount of business I do, I think things fall through the cracks in terms of getting back in touch with previous clients and asking for extra business. So this partner agent would obviously have some real estate experience, or at least be trained to be able to handle a lot of the relationship building and the follow-up and long-term nurture.
And the structure, just so everyone knows, like you doing 50, you have a listing coordinator, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. So what's the listing coordinator role? How do they help you do 50 deals in a year?
So the listing coordinator really is more of an administrative side of things. She will sometimes go to meetings with me to help take notes. Just again, be a second point of contact for my clients. She is a liaison between the marketing team and myself, so that if we need to schedule photos or we need some additional geofencing in our marketing campaign, then I would go to her and she would serve as a liaison and someone that is communicating with the marketing team or with clients in that sense. So
they're taking care of the blocking and tackling, if you will,
Sure.
all of the behind-the-scenes stuff, showings, contracts, marketing. But this new person in the partner agent role is going to help you build those relationships post-close, get more referral business, and that's the path you think to double up?
Absolutely. I think it's I see it as an extension of myself, more so client-facing, really being able to kind of maybe take on the buyer side, because I am doing a lot more buyer deals. And so I just, obviously my focus is on the listing side, but I do like to go see homes and show properties. So it would just allow me to kind of work both sides of the table, but also not neglect my clients.
Yeah, this mini team concept, if you're listening, it's really a cool idea that we've rolled out with Amy, who's now built up 6 team members, which you heard on a previous episode with Rachel. And now we've got 12 people, I think, that have mini teams on our team, and I'm guessing it'll be 15 to 20 by the end of 2022. It's also one thing that we'll be teaching at the HyperFast Summit on February 1st and 2nd in Boca Raton, Florida. And really, if you're a team leader or someone that wants to be a team leader and learn how to grow and scale a business, this is the real estate event that you need to get to. We're going to show you how to go from 50 to 100, or from 100 to over 1,000 deals, which is about how many our team did in 2021. If you want more information on tickets for that, which they are selling out, go to hfasummit.com. Again, that's hfasummit.com for the HyperFast Summit in Boca Raton, Florida on February 1st and 2nd. Again, hfasummit.com. So more on the team, the mini team concept. Have you started to look for the person yet?
So I've at first I was considering working with someone in-house, someone that's already part of the team, and I've considered a couple candidates. I've interviewed a couple people over the last year, but no one's really, I guess, was quite the match. I have an interview tomorrow with someone, and I have someone that I'm considering that might be a buyer's agent.
So what are you looking for in this person? Just put it out there.
Yeah.
Maybe a listener will call in. And
someone that obviously has the same drive I do. Someone that's a go-getter. Someone that's proactive, takes a proactive approach. I go above and beyond for my clients. I do things that maybe not all agents want to do. So I try to set myself apart by providing exceptional service, and communication is huge for me. I think responsiveness, I probably sometimes might be over-responsive because it kind of sets the stage for myself to have to be there constantly, which is why I want someone to be able to take over that if I can't, if I'm with my kids, if I'm with my family, if I'm on vacation. I always feel the need to still respond, so I'm on the phone still even during those times. So this person would be literally an extension of myself, that would be able to go to listing appointments and nail it, and also be able to negotiate a multiple offer situation and use me as a resource, but obviously be able to take on a lot of those.
Yeah, so it's going to help you do more, serve more clients, while protecting your family time. And then the person who takes this job, what you're going to get is, more leads, more opportunities, right? A direct mentor that's got experience selling hundreds of homes already. That's vital when you're starting out. Absolutely.
And I think also just learning to communicate with different types of buyers and sellers, learning to deal with vendors, design. My background was 20 years in design and space, and being inside people's homes and being able to put furniture in different places or understand how layouts of properties work. And so that would be something that I can bring to the table. And, obviously working with contractors, and, you have to wear multiple hats in a listing side.
How did the design business that you did before, you said 20 years, how did that prepare you, or how does it help you for real estate right now?
It was almost like a seamless transition, because my position before, I had to go into people's homes. I had to obviously build rapport with clients. They had to hire me. So it was very much very similar in the sense that they're showing me parts of their homes that might need help and might need a little bit of design or expertise. So it allowed me to already bring to the table that client-facing interaction, as well as an eye for space and design. And so for real estate, what it does is it lets me brings those resources to the table, but in another sense of like, okay, this is what you should do to sell this house, because I know that when people are looking for homes, they're looking for this, this, and this. And so it just gives me a little bit more to bring to the table versus someone that doesn't have that.
Did it give you direct sales experience that has also translated?
Absolutely. I came from a marketing background with Ernst & Young Technologies early on. Right out of college, I took a job with Ernst & Young. I was also a headhunter for about a year, and then I started with this design company, and I just really did really well. And, I doubled my income, and I thought that this was it, and I have the benefits, and I have this, but then that real estate side just took it to the next level.
What specifically, in that design process, when you're sitting down with people design a home, and like, are there similarities between the objections they might have to, your services there versus as a listing agent, or not?
There's obviously competition.
Right.
There's about 1 million other designers out there. They're probably reaching out to 3 or 4 other people as well. So there is that. I think for me, it's bringing confidence to the table and like knowing what you're doing, and really people just trusting you. I've had projects that were $400,000 projects, and and it's no different from the amount of time that I'm putting into some of these listings that are either $300,000 or $1.5 million listings. So it definitely gives me an edge and allows me to kind of change gears, as you would say. So.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, the different types of careers that can prepare people for real estate. Very few people, I think, kind of grow up thinking, I'm going to become a real estate agent, right? Like they I came from a Navy background in contracting business. We had Rob on earlier, who came from hospitality business. Jeanne on the design side. Like, there's so many different types of businesses or experiences in life that can prepare you to be a real estate agent.
Absolutely. And I think that I've always thought I would go, my father was a real estate agent. So it seemed to be a natural path for me. It's just really more so diving into it full-heartedly and kind of just putting everything you have into it, and really struggling that first year to do as much volume and build as many relationships as possible. But after that first year, I think things really went in the direction that I wanted it to.
Well, and it definitely helps starting out with an experienced team like the Keri Shull team. And, you've seen Jeanne's example. If you listen to the episode, Rob or Rachel, right? So many different types of backgrounds that have successfully come onto the team and either as a solo agent, listing agent, partner agent, right? So no matter what your career you're in, if you're listening, if you think, hey, real estate might be something I'd be interested in, you can go to kerishullcareers.com. That's KERISHULL careers.com, and go there and learn more about the openings that we have on our real estate team. Switching gears for a second, you focus primarily on listings. Last year and a half, really, it's been super competitive, when homes are listed, and, we've heard these stories of multiple offers, aggressive bids, contingencies waived, all that kind of stuff. How has it been on, dealing with clients that on the list side specifically, like the challenges? Is it competitive to get the listing? Do they perhaps diminish the value of the listing agent because they think any home will sell just like that? Like, how has that landscape been for you?
I definitely think it's always challenging. I don't think it's ever changed. I think definitely getting the listing obviously takes a certain amount of confidence with and rapport that you build with clients. Yes, absolutely. They think that in this market, anyone can sell my home, but I think it really does depend on the resources you bring to the table. I think the great thing about working for the Keri Shull team is that it allows us to have a full in-house marketing team. It allows us to have a coordinator that's there as a backup and someone that is a point of contact for your clients. But it's also, in a sense of, having the vendors. We have so many resources there for our clients to use. And I think that that's invaluable. And you just don't get that with a solo agent that maybe does, I don't know, maybe 10 deals a year. They don't have the resources to be able to provide the capacity of marketing that we have, and I think that that's huge, and I think that that's what we bring to the table that sets us apart.
What or how have you, I guess, navigated client expectations? Because I imagine, homes that sold like March through, let's say, June, a lot of them maybe you're getting multiple offers, right? Then you kind of have the normal into summer slowdown. So does it make it difficult? Like maybe in August you put a listing on and they didn't get 10 offers. Maybe they got one or maybe none. And they're like, well, what happened? My friend listed their home, in the spring and got 20 offers. Has that situation come up where you're dealing with managing expectations?
I definitely think that that's a possibility. I with research and knowing your comps as a listing agent, that's one thing that we are trained to do, is really understand the comps. And that gives us data that allows us to really navigate through the market and to set expectations for clients and really be able to let them know, hey, based on this time last year, obviously things change. Interest rates, pandemic, different things happening in the country or the world that affect the market in its whole. And that's natural. That's a natural progression. But I think what I see is that, as long as you're setting the expectations and you're showing the client that, hey, this is data, statistics don't lie, numbers don't lie. I'm showing stats of our team stats. I'm also showing statistics of that neighborhood and the likelihood of it selling with multiple offers versus just one or two, and the time of year that happens. So just being able to navigate through the waters and to show them real life information, I think that that's huge. And if you can deliver that to clients and show them, what kind of knowledge you bring to the table, then, I just don't understand why they wouldn't hire you.
Right. Yeah, more information, more expectation up front really goes a long way. Looking into the crystal ball, where do you think the market's going in the next 12 months?
I would say, I think with inventory being low, I still think it's definitely still a seller's market. I think it depends on the type of home and the neighborhoods that you're looking at. Obviously, Washington, D.C., where we are, is, there's always opportunities. There's always things going on. I think values are still increasing. It might not increase as quickly as some times of the year, but I definitely see the market staying strong. There's definitely still competition for buyers for certain types of homes. I have friends that are looking for very specific properties, and it's a tough market out there for very specific neighborhoods. I mean, if they were willing to move to just outside of where they were looking, they might have more opportunity. But, I think also buyers are really focused in on, what their needs are. And, obviously, the reason why, we're so successful is because we're doing things outside the box in order to get them, more properties, maybe off-market properties. Off-market is huge. We sell like 20% of our homes off-market right now. That has changed from before the MLS, gave us more restrictions on how we market off-markets. But I still think that that's a really strong option for a lot of sellers right now.
I think the market could get really tight in the next 60 days or so. I think, if I were on the fence about buying now, I would probably hurry up and try to get done before the spring, because we're still in this condition of undersupply. I've shown charts before that, like, homes built by decade, the last 10 years has been less than any decade prior to World War II, which is astonishing to think about the size of the U.S. then versus now. And the supply chain's really not showing any signs of getting better anytime soon. So I think the supply issues are going to persist, and ultimately the fundamentals are going to drive it up more.
And I definitely, I think interest rates have a lot to do with it too. I definitely think they're going to start creeping up. I don't know. I mean, I definitely don't know enough to say that that's for sure, but I would assume that everything that goes down must come up. So I definitely think
we'll see.
Yeah.
the Fed keeps hinting that they're going to raise them, but they've said this in years before, and I think they're liars. So we'll see. But if they do go up and home prices go up, now you're really paying a lot more. And even if they stay the same, or even if home prices go down a little, if the rates go up a point, that's equivalent to a 10%, price increase.
Absolutely. I think there's a lot of buyers that are, if they don't buy sooner than later, they may be outpriced in this market.
I mean, it's crazy. You can buy a 3%, under 3% in some cases, 30-year fixed rate, and inflation is double that rate now. So you're getting paid to borrow money. Some people don't realize that, but if you're borrowing $100 at 3%, that means next year you've got to pay back $103, right? Mm-hmm. But now those dollars are worth 6% less, right? So you're essentially getting paid to borrow money when inflation is.
I think it's a great time to buy if you can find the right home, and that's what we're here for.
Well, I've really enjoyed our interview, your story, and how you've quickly made this transition into an agent doing 50, and then hopefully this year 100 homes. Before we wrap up, I always like to do a HyperFast round if you're ready for some rapid fire questions and answers.
Oh gosh, okay.
A lot of people are surprised by this part. What's your biggest piece of advice to a new real estate agent?
Learn as much as you can, and learn from others.
What's a mistake that you see experienced agents make?
Not being responsive enough.
That's a really good one. What's the biggest challenge you've had in real estate, and how did you overcome it?
Going from a salary to a 1099 situation, and obviously knowing that you were transitioning into that and saving money or setting aside an account or funds that that you can rely on for rainy days.
I think a lot of agents struggle with that. When you're not selling homes, what are you doing for fun?
Hanging out with the kids, we have a cabin in Deep Creek, so hopefully snowboarding this year if the weather is good.
Awesome. Yeah, hopefully we get some good snow. Last question, where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
I see myself being self-reliant, maybe having a larger team, that I can kind of be a coach for, being able to not have to work as hard. I guess that's what everybody's dream is.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being on the show today. Look forward to watching you make that happen over the next few years. If people out there that are listening, want to connect with you about buying or selling a home, or just questions about DC real estate, how should they do that?
Call me, 202-330-3055.
All right. Well, give Jeanne a call. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thanks.
To all of our listeners and viewers out there, thanks for tuning in. Please leave us some feedback, comments, and share this with people that you think could benefit from listening or watching as well. We'll see you next time.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the HyperFast Show. Subscribe to us if you want to make sure you get the latest and greatest HyperFast shows. And remember, we love reviews. Reviews help us bring better and better guests and improve our shows. So give us the good, the bad, and the ugly. We hope you enjoyed the show, and we will see you next time.
Hey guys, thanks for sticking around to the end. I hope you enjoyed that video, and if you want to see more, click right here. And if you want 100 real estate tips from my best-selling book, click right here to download them instantly. And if you're new to this channel, click below to subscribe and turn on post notifications so you don't miss out. and leave some comments about what you think on the videos.